Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the TMZ Podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton and today I'm joined by Eric Colley. How are you, Eric?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. We got some deep, dense stories today.
Yeah.
This Danny Masterson story is taking over the internet. Particularly this morning, everyone's looking at this old Conan O'Brien clip where Conan kind of hints at knowing about these allegations.
It's really cryptic and weird.
It really is. So we're going to talk about that. We'll also talk about Cardi B and Megan the Trainer. Megan the Trainer? Oh my God.
Megan
the
Trainer?
Stallion.
You confused Megan the Stallion with Megan Trainer.
Megan the Trainer. Are you serious? Megan the Stallion. They couldn't be more opposite, to be honest.
They both are all about that bass.
Hey!
That is true.
Facts. Well, Cardi and the Stallion, they have a new song out called Bongos, all about their bongos at the back, the back bongos. But to begin with, Jimmy Fallon, man. Another, big story about a toxic workplace. Rolling Stone put out an article saying 2 current and 14 former employees were complaining about it, which has caused Jimmy Fallon had to apologize to his staff. But it's just crazy that we're hearing more of these. It was Ellen DeGeneres with the talk show host Toxic Environment. Now it's Jimmy Kimmel.
It's
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. It's always the people that are kind of like America's sweetheart.
It's weird.
like people said that like with Rosie O'Donnell back in the day. Like her show, she was, oh, Rosie's so fun. Everybody loves her. And then people said that about her workplace. Ellen DeGeneres, of course, everybody loved Ellen. And then, no, actually, it's a nightmare. Jimmy Fallon is like the fun, good guy that everybody loves. And now all these people are like, no, it's terrible. People said they had crying rooms they would go hide in. They said that basically that you just never knew what Jimmy you were going to get from day to day, that he could be like super fun and jokey one day, and then if he was in a bad mood, everybody had to be in a bad mood.
Right. I mean, yeah, it is crazy how these always happy, always positive, what was Ellen's sign off? Like, be good to one another?
Yeah, something like that.
And it's just like, you weren't being good. But like, I also think that we all have good days and bad days, and when you're like at the helm and when everyone talks to you every day, like, if everyone had to talk to me every day, some days I'd just be...
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that, because I'm like, I don't know if this is like a hot take, but this doesn't sound that horrible to me.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just, it's something we've gotten used to. But, the Tonight Show, of course, is a very high-stress environment. It has to be. And particularly for Jimmy Fallon, he is the face of it. And whatever mistakes are made, anything that happens, he will be the face of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's being really horrible to people, and people in the executives are saying like all these allegations are kind of old news, that it's not like that anymore, that Jimmy had some problems and there were some growing pains. It's not like that anymore. But still, I don't know. I feel like I'm being a little not sympathetic here, but people are like, it was so stressful and it was so hard. Well, of course it is. It's the Tonight Show. Like,
yes,
it is a
very
high,
fast pace.
Yeah, it's a fast paced, high stress environment, and maybe he made it worse, I don't know, but it's not for everybody.
Like us, their workplace has to produce television content each day, and you've got a certain amount of... I mean, theirs is live, but you've got certain amount of time to do this. There's lots of constraints. Like, you're an editor here,
right,
primarily, as well as being our go-to music guy. So you're responsible. You've got like an hour or so to edit get it done.
Like our show that airs in the evening is the one we shoot that morning.
Yes.
We turn that whole thing around in like 2.5, 3 hours every day.
And I imagine in those
stressful.
2.5, 3 hours, you've got, different people going, where is it, Eric? Where is it, Eric?
Right. There's days like sometimes like, you got to pee and you're like, I'm just going to have to hold it for an hour because I have to get this on air. But that's not anybody's fault. That's just the nature of it.
But if Rolling Stone called you up and you gave them that account, they'd probably publish never given pee breaks. but that's the facts, right?
But and it's not like people aren't preventing me from going to the bathroom or anything. It's just some days it's like I don't have time right now.
Right.
And like with you, like getting a shot sometimes when you're out in the field, like there's a lot of stress on that.
Yeah.
And getting the right question, and you only have a minute to get it. There's a lot of pressure on you to get it right in that moment.
I actually live the good life. I've got the best job ever. I don't stress about that
You do get nap breaks that other people don't.
Yeah, it's hard to stress while you're asleep in your car.
But I maybe, like I said, if Jimmy was being a tyrant, that's different. But just people are saying like, oh, writing for a late night show is my dream job, and it was so hard when I got there. Well, yeah. Like being a doctor or a firefighter or a cop, those are high stress jobs. I wouldn't want that job.
No.
And I would expect if I did, it's going to be hard.
And also, these stories only come out about workplaces in the entertainment industry, because if it came out about, a fire, about a fireman who came out and said, like, my sort of, what do they call where firemen hang out?
A fire station?
A fire
Firehouse?
station. Like, the fire station is too stressful. Like, that wouldn't make news because, like, okay, you know
Of
what I
course
mean? It only makes news because it's Jimmy Fallon.
Right.
And so I feel like there's probably a lot of workplaces like this where it is high stress. Well, what he was accused of, Jimmy Fallon, is being dismissive, being irritable, and being erratic, which led to a toxic workplace. I would have thought there's a lot of bosses out there that fit that description.
Right. And I'm sure there are days where he's super stressed. And there's a lot, like I said, a lot of it ultimately is on his shoulders because he is the star of the show. And you're right. I think also it's because, we don't hear about these other things. One, because of the celebrity factor, but also you assume a firehouse or a police station is going to be a high stress, crazy environment. A hospital ER room is going to be, the ERs are crazy. These shows like Ellen and Jimmy, particularly, like I was saying, they project this air of it's fun and good times and everybody's just in a good mood all the time because that's television.
That's television. That's
Nobody
what they
wants
say
to watch
TMZ.
it be stressful. Right.
At TMZ, they watch the TMZ show and we're all laughing and, patting each other on the back and they're like, it must be so fun.
It's so funny how often we all hear that. Like, hey, guys, you guys must have so much fun at work. And being fully honest, we do.
We do.
We do have a good time in the room, but there's a lot of work to make that happen every day. And that's the trade-off. That's how it works.
Look, Jimmy's apologized. He got on a Zoom because the writer's strike's happening right now. So it's not even like they're taping the show.
Right.
So he got on a Zoom with some employees and said, look, I'm sorry. I feel bad. It wasn't my intention. I'll do better. But yeah, as I say, they're not even producing the show right now because of the writer's strike. So it's not like anything can be done right now.
Right. And again, NBC is saying that, like, as they said, of the 16 people they spoke to, 14 are former employees. They're like, this is old news. These are, issues that have been addressed and fixed, and it's not like that anymore.
Right. I mean, and former employees tend to be disgruntled at times.
Of course. There's a reason they're former employees a lot of the time.
Exactly. So, I'm not sort of holding Jimmy over a barrel for this, I don't think.
Yeah, me either.
If this exists, and hopefully this will mean that going forward he'll be a better, less erratic boss, but it doesn't seem like something we should cancel him for.
No, it just seems like, it's a stressful workplace. Yeah. I assume it is.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, on to our next story. Danny Masterson, who was given 30 years for 2 counts of rape. So he's currently in prison and he's under 24-hour surveillance with guards coming to check on him every 30 minutes because, you worry about his mental state.
Right. And it's crazy. 30 years. I don't know. When I saw that, I was surprised it was that much. And it's 30 years to life. But, the prosecutors and, of course, the 2 Jane Does that accused him said that they think 30 years is not enough. They're like, you destroyed our lives. You're a monster, and this is what you deserve. And
there were more women who didn't have enough evidence to come to trial. So it wasn't just these 2 women that were accused. He had many accusers, most of whom, including Danny, were in the Church of Scientology, which gives this an extra layer of just confusing. It's just a bit weird because these women say that for these 20 years ago these rapes happened. That they were silenced by the church.
Well, that's part of the interesting thing of this is it's sort of an indictment of Scientology too.
Absolutely.
These women are saying that he was protected and basically he was untouchable because he was so famous and so successful that the church was like, no, you can't accuse him of anything. So they said they were sort of stifled by the church, and we'll see what comes of that, if anything.
Right.
But and a weird little interesting wrinkle in all of this is a Conan O'Brien clip that has surfaced from 2004. Conan was interviewing Danny Masterson. I guess this would have been probably right after that 70s show, maybe right around that time. And Danny Masterson's talking about how he had been in LA so long he had lost his Long Island accent, but sometimes certain words he still would. We have the audio of that, right?
Yeah, let's play it now.
You have no accent though. You have no Long Island accent that I can discern.
Not really. I've been in LA for like 10 years.
And it just goes away naturally, right?
It goes away naturally, and then there's also certain words that there's nothing you can do about. Like my friend Bodie Elfman, he always teases me and he says, "Hi, my name is Danny Masterson. Would you like to touch my balls?" Doing an imitation of me, because certain
So
words
why are
you
you
just can't get
asking
away
people to
with.
do that? That's the more important question.
I mean, you got them.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Accent aside,
Everybody should grab.
that's the more important thing.
Exactly.
I've heard about you. And you'll be caught soon. I know you will.
I will.
So is that a joke, or does Conan know something?
That is weird, because just the saying that I've heard about you is kind of a funny, like, oh, I've heard that you like people to touch your balls, but saying you'll be caught soon, I know you will. Like,
It could just be like, I don't know, people putting the pieces together now and then like pointing to it. And that could just be a joke and him not know anything. I can see that. But
I could also see Conan O'Brien had heard some things and was not going to let this guy just go by without saying something.
Well, Conan is looking down at his paper. He's not staring Danny in the eyes directly. It's almost like he's delivering the joke a bit uncomfortably, like he knows, oh, this is a big joke. This is a dark joke. So if he did know something, then it was a bit public knowledge. This was in 2004?
I think people had heard about things
really
years before this trial happened. There was like whispers of like, oh, I heard he's kind of a creepy dude or this or that. I've seen some people like on formerly Twitter, X now I guess, saying, Conan O'Brien was a writer for The Simpsons, so of course he could predict the future.
Right.
Because, we always say The Simpsons can predict, from Trump's presidency to lots of other things, The Simpsons predicted it. So maybe Conan O'Brien could see the future.
Damn, I didn't know he wrote for The Simpsons.
Yeah,
Awesome.
That's where he got his big start.
You know who else is interesting in this whole case is the wife of Danny, Bijou Phillips.
Right.
Who is, I've been reading more about her this morning than him. She's led a very interesting life. Daughter to the mamas and papas, like
John Phillips, yeah.
The papa, I assume?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Or Michelle Phillips, but yeah.
Yeah. And also, she was on that movie Almost Famous.
Right.
She was a big part of Almost Famous, which is kind of an appropriate title for her life because she's always been around fame, but not directly famous herself.
Not just fame, but infamy. Like, her parents, like, there's like a lot of stories around that.
There's some dark stories.
Yeah, John Phillips, there's some dark stuff. Danny Masterson now, there's some obviously dark stuff. And they have a kid together, like a young kid, and now she's going to be basically raising this kid by herself. So she's in a weird place right now.
She is. And you know who's responsible largely for this whole thing is Leah Remini. The women who were uncomfortable to come forward, who lived in the Church of Scientology, supposedly when they saw what Leah was doing publicly with her documentaries and stuff, one of them went to her and said, what should I do?
I think she empowered a lot of people.
She empowered a lot of those people. Which is amazing. What a purpose. What an amazing thing she's done for countless women, I assume.
Right. And I think history is going to be really kind to her. And it's funny, I think of her still as kind of like the king of queens and that stuff. But I think her kind of activism now is what she'll be known for.
Absolutely. Okay, then. On to our last and definitely
something lighter.
The lightest story. Cardi B's got a new track with Megan Thee Stallion.
Not Megan the Trainer.
Not Megan the Trainer. It's called Bongos, and it's about butts. And
it's exactly what you think it is.
It's kind of a bung, bada bung, bada bung. Everybody has a bongos on someone's butt at some time. Right. But it is it's so sexually charged. It's almost more WAP than WAP, to be honest.
I thought it was a little bit less.
Oh, really?
Do you remember the WAP video?
I'll have to refresh my memory.
I remember when we did clips of it on the show, I was having to go through and black bar all the boobs in it because they're like just random boobs in the hallways and stuff. It was a nightmare editing clips from that video for air. This one, it's a little bit more TV safe.
Maybe the music video. The music video is still like.
It's what you'd think it would be.
It's what you think it would be, but also it's all about butt and things that you might like to do to a butt, and it's very Cardi. It's her first single since she came out with her debut album back in 2018.
It's not her first single, but it's interesting. So she's released one album. Her second album has never happened. Like WAP was never on any album.
Oh.
Her song Up from like 2 years ago, #1 hit, also not on an album.
Oh, okay.
So if this song goes to #1, and it might, if she puts all these songs on her second album, it's already got 3 #1 hits on it, and it hasn't even come out yet.
Oh, interesting.
So she's been taking her time with this. It's been years.
Why is she taking so long to come out with a new album?
I don't know. Earlier this year, she's like, I promise this year, like the label's telling me it's got to come out. Like she's just been taking her time with it. And obviously, we cover Cardi a lot. She's had other things happening in her personal life.
Yeah.
She and Offset, there's always some drama.
Right.
So this hasn't really been a huge priority for her, but maybe now we're finally going to get the album.
Yeah, it's like, it surprised me that she hadn't come out with an album since then because she's been ever present in our in our entertainment lives. And for Megan Thee Stallion's part, this is her first release since that whole Tory Lanez going away thing. So it's a big comeback for these two women. And I think it's going to be a big song.
It's going to be a big song. So Olivia Rodrigo's album came out today too. So there's some competition, but this has a decent shot at number one.
Do you think they could beat Olivia Rodrigo? She seems like she's like...
For singles, could be. Because also, remember the thing, we got the video of Cardi holding like some CDs that are available on her website, and she was rubbing them on her boobs.
I love that.
And so that could sell just enough extra copies to cinch number one for her.
That is the most genius marketing campaign of her. If you hadn't seen the video, she's like signing all these CDs, whatever CDs are.
Oh, come on, you're not that young.
she was signing all these CDs, and as she was doing it, she was licking them. She was putting it on boobs, putting it on her butt. If you receive one of those albums, I mean, that'd be worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. But we were like, who buys CDs? That's the thing is, if you're trying to get a number one song, and she clearly is. Say she sells 3,000 to 5,000 CDs, which is not a ton.
Yeah,
but that could be enough to make her number one.
Why 5,000?
Yeah, if it's that close with like the streaming numbers, you just need a little edge to put you over, and that might be it.
Oh, because
that's why artists do this. That's why Taylor Swift has like 19 different covers for her albums.
I know.
Because she has just enough fans who'll buy all of them that'll push her over the edge.
I know some fans, I'll buy 10 of those albums just to try to get you to number one.
A lot of K-pop bands, that's why they sell these weird deluxe CDs with like trading cards and stuff, because they can sell enough copies to fans to get number one.
Is that Taylor Swift movie coming out in a few months or in a month?
It's coming out in October.
Is that going to contribute to anything towards her streaming or numbers?
Just that people will see the movie and then go listen to the albums. Yeah. It's all just marketing. And Cardi's very good at marketing too, back to that. Like, so I think she can probably get number one.
Yeah. It's genius marketing.
It's a game, and some people play it better than others.
What are you doing if you receive the Cardi B, like, rubbed on my butt album?
But you don't know if it is or not.
Oh, true. I mean, she actually said in the video it's scratch and sniff, so maybe there would be a way.
And you would be the weirdo to try it.
Oh, I put it in a glass case. I mean...
You don't want that scent to go away?
No! That's fantastic. It's Cardi.
You're such a weirdo.
Cardi's Bongos? Thank you very much, Eric.
Always a good time.
Always a good time. Thank you, guys. We'll see you here next week. Bye.